Hello, Andrew Mo. How are you, Andrew Mo? I've had a request for a WRX video, right, Andrew Mo? I made a 20-minute one last night on the other camera and deleted it because I realised the SD card cuts off at 20 minutes and it wasn't a complete video, and neither will this one be. I'm just out of the blue making a video. Someone's requested I mention their name, Andrew Mo. So I haven't washed the car yet. Last time I went, I left it like this for 3 months, which I'm not going to do here. But it's been great. So we had a great trip. This car's now it's got a long range cruising capability because it's comfortable and more comfortable, stuff like that. Andrew Mo. And in the video last night, I sort of made a bit of a script, and it never works. Scripts don't work with me, but it was a pretty cool video. And what it was about, and I'm going to complete it maybe tonight, I'll do it again. What it was about was waking up yesterday to the news of a taste of a 2019 WRX STI. That's a 1.6 litre boxer hybrid or some stupid thing like that. It was a useless article, idiotic article. It was just something created to, get a page view. But they did say they spoke to the Subaru Australia boss. Well, I spoke to the Subaru customer service and they said the same thing. If you remember the video where I mentioned, he kept saying there's a new WRX coming next year, like 2018, 2019. And the STI will not be delayed, He repeated it as if it was going to be true. It kind of creeped me out, but, I went ahead and got this one anyway. Whether or not that will eventuate, we don't know. But it all began to tie in together now as I've driven it a little bit in light rain, not heavy rain. It's all beginning to tie together. So though it's the same old story like the last month or 3 weeks or whatever, it's not really, because in regular mode with no intervention, with full intervention, this car has become no fun to drive at all. So unless you're in track mode, it sort of stops the car. Literally, like, it's so aggressive in how it turns in and brake vectors and stuff like that, that it's like, it's just like no fun whatsoever. Though you can get a sort of brief glimpse at what the car might be able to do if it let go. But in track mode, and I haven't tried the other one yet, but in track mode and on the gravel, you can feel every single increment of the DCCD normally here. I don't know if I've mentioned, guys, with the 2016, if you want to get a feeling of the deader steering, of the heavier steering, put your car into Auto Plus forwards, so less torque split to the back. From memory, I shouldn't even start. Was it 51? I can't remember now, 60, 59, 40, whatever. But you in this model, you feel it a lot more. But if you guys want to know what a WRX STI is and not make a mal-informed decision, if you got other cars in the pipeline and you could get it off-road, which you won't be able to on a test drive, unless you're in a country place, I guess. But what you need to do is book it out in the rain. Book the car out in the rain and you'll very quickly get an idea. Now I've got to go, but I'll make another statement here. This thing would blitz the 2016 in a run because I inadvertently did a bit of a, the car wasn't behaving nicely towards me. I was struggling with the clutch on a takeoff. I had to get in front for whatever reason and blow this R8 away. And I was genuinely needing to get in front before all the motorbikes cut me off. And I sort of wasn't concentrating, and I dropped the clutch at 4,500 RPM, and it took off like a freaking hyena. Like, the whole car just, it lifted. I have to say, the car lifted, and it took off and just went whoosh like that. So this car, there's a lot of changes in the electronics, Andrew Mo, and that's what the next video is going to be about. I can see what they've done now. They've made it very, very comfortable and very much safer. to drive. This car's safer. It's got a lot more intervention, which won't be for everyone. And as I said, the hard bolstered Recaros aren't for everybody either. So that'll be that video coming up soon, Andrew Mo. But who are you, Andrew Mo? Do I know you? I bet you I know you. I bet you I bet you I know who you are. But anyway, that's that. The brakes, now that I've really hammered them on this last drive, the brakes in the morning are totally dead on the first stop like they were when it was new. So I guess, you know, I've not overheated them, but you know, look, as weather changes, cars change. But right now, for the last few mornings, that first stop always just gets me going, oh, I need to push it a bit harder. So yeah, it seems my TPMS is going into the red zone here. Oh, goodness me. Let's just reset the TPMS. Okay, I think I've got a faulty TPMS. Subaru Australia. Is this what you do for your loyal Australian fans? Hey? Take the TPMS out, Subaru Australia. I bet you're going to see one of these. You can ring me and ask me what you should be doing with your cars for safety, and not, you know, doing everything in the world to make a beautiful, safe car and then take the TPMS away from your loyal Australian drivers that, you know, we are your #1 fans per capita, maybe. I don't know, but we are with the Golf R and the Apple iPhone. So Australians do get a preview before the world. I know that people in the UK now are informed that there's only so many of these coming to the UK, 300 maybe or something, a viewer told me, and they're calling up the buyers with the previous model to see if they want to upgrade. You know, in Australia, we tend to get the model quite soon, which I never really realised till this one came out, quite early on possibly. But that's that. I'm going to make a better video. It really is grueling with the Lumix and then uploading it on my phone, making sure I've got the memory, especially with a longer video. But I might just stick it to this phone tonight, because me trying to make you guys better content with a camera with full anti-shake and stability and perfect lighting and color, you know, reflecting the color exactly for what it is on the Lumix is quite grueling at the end of the day. You know, a big well done to the guys making all these amazingly high quality videos. It's not for me, absolutely not for my lifestyle to do, but Andrew Mo. But I made this video for Andrew Mo, and I love my car. I love this car. I love the blue. It's beginning to reveal to me the guards, which, you know, we always want them pumped out further, but, you know, it certainly shows some lines much better off than the silver does. Maybe it's the dirt on the car, but it sort of looks a bit pumped out sort of in the blue, a lot more aggressive. Look what the children do, look at the children, they just there's that Maguire's Ultimate Polish, remember, that's all coming. But it was great on the freeway, and you know, another thing I'll mention in the next video, it takes 4 or 6 weeks or whatever it may be for you to go through that old rat run and for you to take a street that you might not take every day. And there are bumps that I was cringing over in the other car. This thing glides over them, like literally from cringing, gripping the wheel and slowing down, and as the other one would go over a speed hump because it's so firm, this one just glides over it. But last night, powering off sort of silly, sort of, you know, not driving too smoothly, accelerating at speed, I felt this body lift, like, so twice now I have felt lift. I felt suspension rebound that doesn't exist on the other model, that's for sure, along with the really aggressive torque vectoring and stuff. It's really a different car. So yeah, for those in the market for another car, a Golf R, a Ford Focus, whatever, and if you don't know the STI, I bet you're going to buy one of those other 2 cars, because this car still has the drivability issues at times. You know, it's got now more personality than it did before, because now you've got this sort of Lexus-like ride. It's got a brilliant ride, although if you hit a pothole, it will not rebound, but you'll feel the car has a firmness about it. So it's still not, I'm not recommending, you know, you drive your 90-year-old mum around in it, but as in buying another car and looking at this car and comparing it to those other cars, either you've got to get it out in the wet to know the capability of the car, or trust in your instinct when you drive it that you'll now be surprised as the WRX, once you buy it, STI will reveal itself to you in its many, many forms. It's got many, many different personalities, this car, but it's now much harder to realise that. I'll reiterate, the car feels quicker to me. It actually really, really feels significantly quicker to me. Obviously, that's just me. This car's heavier and should be slower, but I don't know, I'm quite impressed. I know the InGen does a lot. I know it. The InGen filter does a lot. I might get off to my tuner tonight to download the 2018 software, and my main goal now with the tuning, I'm not even going to tune it for the downpipe yet. I'm going to lift the idle speed, give it some enrichment wherever I required, and less, you know, more kick in Sport Sharp. I want more kick in Sport Sharp, get rid of some turbo lag, and get rid of, well, see, in my old model, it was to get rid of a lot of the jittery sort of unevenness down low. This car doesn't seem to have it. Now, bearing in mind that this car at idle makes a different noise to my other one did at idle when it was new. This car does this blah, 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 blah. My other car never did that. Like, my other car snapped, crackle and popped after I tuned it, but it never ever idled or made the sound that this does at idle. So who knows, maybe they've mucked around with the fuel delivery system, software a little bit, but without doubt the software for the four-wheel drive, DCCD, obviously going full electronic, and for all the VDC and the torque vectoring is different. I believe this car would blitz the other car in a run, and it would blitz it around a track. So I don't know if there's any videos out there yet of this on the track in a lap time, and the other one on the track in the lap time. Got to run, but there you go, Andrew Mo. Thanks for the inspiration, mate. And hey, Mark Antonelli in Queensland, I think you are. How are you, legend? See ya.